Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Daryl here.
And I'm Josh, and we have our Walking Dead news video for you today. Lots of news coming from the Walking Dead universe, and we're here to bring it to you.
Yeah, I mean, we say lots of news. There is some lots of news, but there's still not a ton of stuff. But we're kind of like just in this limbo thing until Daryl Dixon starts, because there's really not much.
I'm hyping it up.
We got to be hyped for it.
Yeah.
So, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 2, The Book of Carol, premieres September 29th, 2024 on AMC and AMC Plus.
Summer.
And that is not summer. That is fall.
Now,
Football is starting.
Drell,
that is fall.
Technically, that's summer, right?
I guess summer ends around the end of September, but
I don't know about you guys, but
come on.
For us Americans, right?
Yeah.
When you hit football season, and football as in American football, it's not summer.
That's fall. Yeah, that's fall. Yeah, AMC has been promoting this for quite some time that it's releasing in the summer of 2024. So summer for us really is in between, like,
you think anyone's going to argue in the
end
comments?
of April to end of August.
Think we're going to get any Americans in the comments?
Probably. Yes.
It's summer. It's totally summer.
Totally summer.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll give you the semantics, but
right.
It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it. So, I mean, it's no big deal. September. I was thinking it was probably going to be July to August range, but September, no big deal. It's the only Walking Dead content we have for this year. So, after the ones who live.
I'll give you another point to argue that September 29th is not summer. Kids are in school.
Kids are back to school?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, like summer, you're not in school.
The summer break.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't go back to school in the summer. Come on. But yeah, very exciting, guys. They did release 2 first look photos, but the photos, I think we've already seen them already. It shows, Carol in her jacket, and next, she has the bike, and I think that's probably at the location of where she, where Daryl, before he got on the boat. And then we saw a shot of Daryl, I think, that they showed at a recent teaser that they released. So, I mean, yes, first look photos, but to me, I don't think they're truly first look because we've kind of already seen them. But maybe first look for others who haven't seen that information. But another piece of news is that Daryl Dixon Season 2, The Book of Carol, Episode 1 premiered on June 8th, just a few days ago, at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York. So if you are on social media, be careful. I'm not sure if they locked phones down, if they basically had contracts signed to say that you cannot talk about it until this date, but people could still release some leaked stuff. So just be careful. But, we did enjoy Daryl Dixon. We really did. And with a lot of fans, I think Daryl really wasn't that high on the totem pole for some. I prefer Dead City over Daryl Dixon, honestly. And I think it was more just to be, production value in Daryl Dixon is good. Production value in Dead City was great, but I liked the story better in Dead City than Daryl Dixon, because Daryl Dixon is like, it's starting from scratch. It's building the story. Dead City, they're kind of changing the story in that one, but it kind of just, I don't know, the story just got you. It got you from the beginning, and you just kept going and going and going. Daryl, it was kind of a slow burn a little bit. But again, I like Daryl Dixon. I like Dead City better, but I am excited for Season 2. There's a lot of things that they have to flush out in the second season, though, I will tell you.
I thought both series kind of held their own, right?
Yeah,
I thought they were really both good, but for me, it was Dead City over Daryl as well. I just didn't like the whole Laurent aspect. And I know we've talked about this in a couple of videos.
That's what they have to flush out.
They just got to take care of that. I just didn't like that part.
Yeah, we have talked about this, and it's not that we're against, the religious aspect of what the story is telling about Laurent. Yes, Laurent grew up in a nun convent, and they're very religious. And this story about Laurent and him being the prophecy does have some religious overtones for it.
But I hate that you even said that.
But what they're not explaining yet, they're making Laurent seem like they've used the word Messiah. Now, when you hear the word Messiah, you immediately think more on the religious overtones. But another version of the Messiah could be a great leader to lead people into this great new world. Now, we have heard that from the series already, and They just have to flush it out. Is he going to be a great leader? I don't believe it's not going to be anything that relates to that he is immune to walkers. No, do not do that.
Well, they kind of alluded to it towards the end where he gets to the compound, whatever, the castle or whatever.
Yeah, Isabel kind of mentioned it.
And it's like a group of leaders. Like these are individuals that at one point could be considered a leader for the future world.
Yeah.
They kind of started that towards the end. I just didn't like how they got there.
Right.
You know, like saying that he's a messiah and like every single person around Laurent was like, they played it off like he was possibly the cure.
Yeah. They wanted to kiss his feet. Yeah, like they feel they have to protect Laurent because he is so vital to the future of humanity. That's what Isabel also thinks.
Exactly.
Now Daryl called her out on it.
Of course he did.
You know, it's
but then we get towards the end where he's now thrown into this castle. Now there's a group of them, and he's
that one Asian guy.
What is he not so important now? You know what I'm saying?
It kind of dropped a little. He is, but he's not as high as maybe Isabel and others thought he was because they maybe built him up. And that's the thing about the prophecy. You're reading into it in so many different ways. Yeah. You know, maybe Isabel saw him as a prophecy more on the religious side because she's a nun, and they see him more as, you know, this prophecy's way up here. But the other people, as stories trickle through,
but even
they're
Madame,
like, oh, well,
even Madame Genet knew about this so-called
prophecy.
Kid.
Yes, about the kid. Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Like, as the stories keep populating it around, people are going to tell their own versions of it. It's going to get out of hand.
I know.
But that's the number one thing they have to flush out in season 2 is Laurent's storyline, because it's a mystery. We just think he's a regular kid. Yes, he may have some good instincts about reading people. That's great. That's not really a special ability that somebody is born with. That's just, you know, there's some people that are just good to read people, in a sense.
Oh, it does say something that he can do it at the age that he's at.
The age that he's at. Okay, yeah. You know? So that's good. But again, anyway, he is not the cure. Judith is the cure. No, he is not the cure. There's nothing that's going to happen with that. Because remember when we saw that and they were actually just dreams? Where Laurent was like walking through walkers. That was like Daryl having a dream, freaking out. But they played it off like, are we really going this route? Like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
But again, I'm excited to see Carol. You know, with her, we kind of poked fun at this, that are you really telling us that Carol, because Daryl didn't come back in a week like he said, that she's just going to go off on this mission to find him? Apparently that's what it is.
I hope not. I hope there's something more to that. I hope that we actually get the what we perceived as her on the radio telling Daryl that Rick has returned. I think a lot of people have perceived that to be the case. Mm-hmm. I kind of hope that's the angle they're going with. Yeah. That she's there. She understands how important Rick is to Daryl. It pulled him away for 7 years looking for him.
Long time.
I think that warrants enough for her to tell her best friend, that one of her friends, that, hey, he's back, and if you want to see him, you need to come home.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see, you know, her face when she comes across these variant walkers, especially the burners. Hope she doesn't get burned. But
you think we'll get a scene of Rick and her talking in the very beginning?
Oh, like Rick saying, "Go get him."
Yeah,
because I can't leave. Michonne won't let me leave. Michonne won't let me go anywhere.
I got this tracker in my arm. Michonne knows where I'm at.
I am never leaving again. I think that's what you said before. Like, Michonne will never let him leave.
She is not going to let him leave the walls.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool if we saw that, like, Rick talking to Carol and like,
go get my brother.
Go get him. Go bring him home. That'd be so sick. One question that I've had, and I think we've talked about it, and other fans have had, is when do you think we're going to see Carol? Do you think it's because the subtitle is the Book of Carol. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to get a lot with Carol and her journey over there. Yes, we're going to get Daryl, Isabel, and Laurent in the story, but do you think they're going to mix it in well, or do you think we're only actually, here's the thing, not when we're going to see Carol, when are we going to see the reunion? When are we going to see Daryl and Carol together?
I was going to say, I think we'll see Carol right at the beginning. I think they'll do exactly what they did with the Daryl series.
Yeah.
They will show her getting to Paris. or her journey to where she's gotten. So I think it'll actually open with Carol.
Yeah. When do you think they'll reunite? Towards the end of the season?
End of episode 1.
That early? I don't think it's going to be that early, my opinion.
It's a Daryl show, though.
I know, but I think it's going to be at least a couple episodes in before they truly reunite, and then they deal with everything there.
How many episodes is it? 8?
I think it's the same. 8 episodes. Yeah. For these limited series, yeah. So I think it's going to be a couple episodes in before they reunite, and then whatever Daryl's dealing with Madame Genet and the actual storyline, Carol's going to help with it.
I mean, you are right. The only way that she runs into him is if it's accidentally in passing, because she's not going to find that castle that quickly.
No, she's going to be chatting and talking with people along the way. Now, it's going to be a risk for her because she says the name Daryl. She can come across Madame Genet's people. Yeah. And they could lie to her and say, oh, yeah, we heard about him going this way or this way. So that's what's going to be interesting about maybe the first episode is her journey to tracking him, basically.
I just don't see a Daryl Dixon show without Daryl.
Oh no! It's
past the first episode. Well, yeah. They'll jump back and forth.
They'll jump back and forth. Yeah. I'd say the first. I could see the first episode being predominantly on Carol, and then they'll sprinkle Daryl stuff in there. But I think the majority of it will be Carol.
Yeah,
and then progress the story.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, man. Like if they wanted to keep the series going, they'd save the reunion for towards the end.
That'd be long.
Because then you'd have to have another season of Carol and Daryl.
Well, that's the thing, though, is
possibly getting back.
What is this? Yeah, that's the thing with this series is we don't know. I mean, he's
not staying in there.
Before AMC announced it way too early that there was a season 2, we could have thought that the end of season 1 could have been it.
Yeah,
that he stayed. So now we have season 2, the Book of Carol coming to get him. If she does tell him that Rick is alive, that's a big piece of news. And he's kind of already got his new family. And not a complete new family, but there are people that are important to him. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the thing. By the end of season 2, are we coming home with everyone? Or are we going to stay in France again and finish this up in another season or so?
I said this in a previous video, I predicted this, that eventually he's going to come back, and it's going to be with Laurent and
Isabel.
Thank you.
I think he'll bring them both.
Yeah,
for sure. And then he'll fix everything that's over there. Let the friends and the groups rule or control the stuff over there. But Madame Genet's people are gone. The crazy juiced walkers are gone. Yes, they'll still have to deal with burners, but at least the supersonic walkers aren't going to be that massive if they completely, take that down.
Yep.
So we'll have to see. All right.
Got some Dead City news now.
Dead City. So if you haven't seen our previous video, guys, about Negan, Lucille is back. They've shown it.
And I think this news actually has something to do with it, and I'll kind of explain. But Walking Dead Season 2, possibly a new filming location change, and does it mean less focus on Manhattan? And where we're going with this is Dead City Season 1 filmed in New York City. However, Season 2 is going to be filmed in Massachusetts, specifically around the Boston area.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty big. I mean, that's major location visual changes. We're not in New York City anymore. We know that Manhattan is somewhat cut off, but Dama wants Negan to go around the different neighborhoods, Queens, the Bronx, and bring those neighborhoods into one. And that's why I cannot wait to see Kim Coates in this role. If you guys know him from many different roles, what he was in. Oh God, what's the motorcycle show?
The gang one?
The gang one.
Oh,
yeah. God. Kim Coates, you guys know what I'm talking about. But either way, can't wait to see him. He's going to be awesome in that. But
it's going to bother me, dude.
But filming in the Boston area, I wonder if the story is somewhat, in a way, changing because we're not going to really be in Manhattan anymore for a while.
So what I was going to say is I think this is Negan conquering the outside, the gangs around, the surrounding gangs. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is.
Mostly.
So are we going to start to see some of Negan's old tactics, as far as trapping people, are we going to see another lineup, possibly from another gang, being on their knees?
Yeah, we talked about that in our
Who's
going to
be
video.
Negan's number 2? Who's going to be Negan's new Simon?
I'm thinking it could be Kim Coates. I'm thinking his character could, because he's part of another gang. And I'm not sure where, if he's in the Bronx or another neighboring neighborhood. I wonder if he might be, because how his character is and how he does play certain characters is very gritty, very Negan-like, very authoritative. He's, he does things on the whim, and he'll just kill people without mercy. So I could see him and Negan becoming like buddy pretty quick.
It'll be interesting if they even dabble into, because obviously Negan would have learned his lesson from his experience with Simon, and his number 2 kind of betraying him in a way. So it'll be interesting to see if they put that dynamic into this, because we all know Negan's back. The ruthless Negan is back. We'll get to see how he's dealing with that.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, just when we saw the leaked photos of him holding Lucille again, don't know what he's going to name this one, but either way, he has a bat with barbed wire, and that's old Negan. He is being thrust back into this. He's doing it for a reason, because he has to. Yeah. But how far is Negan going to go? Will he do another lineup like Josh mentioned? Is that something that he will do, or maybe he just won't do that part of it because he's like, no. I'm going to do it the way that I know I need to do it to play the part, but I'm not going to go that deep back into the old ways, because that could force him to not come out. Now, we mentioned in our last video, maybe one way that we could see him go fully Negan ruthless again is if he finds out that his wife and kid are dead, or maybe Dama and Croat find his wife and kid and use them as collateral against him. That would really piss him off. Yeah. And he would go ruthless on them. I think he'd go ruthless on them. He'd go ruthless on them eventually. Because
at that point, he has nothing.
Not innocent people.
Lose.
Yeah, not innocent people.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick Maggie, Alexandria, and Hilltop 2, whatever it's called, over his wife and kid, he's going to pick his wife and kid. Yeah. He's not going to care.
1,000%. Yeah.
So I think I think he's forced to go that route, and I think he's going to go deep.
Hopefully not too deep, but
hopefully deep.
Yeah. But I mean, Boston area is cool. I don't mind that we're leaving Manhattan for a bit. It just depends on how the story's going to go. If we don't need to be in the heart of Manhattan like we were in season 1, again, it's Negan trying to bring in the other New York boroughs. Is that right? Boroughs, Queens, Bronx, and other gangs into the fold for Dama. We're going to have. I think season 2 also needs to flush out, this the Maggie Herschel dynamic. Their relationship's been fractured. We have to see, how much of a mental state Herschel is in, because he did get his toe cut off by Dama, and she has it in a box. But just their relationship's very fractured. Does he feel any type of, anger still towards Negan? Does he feel like, okay, Negan has always protected me. He's always tried to at least be just my friend. I mean, he's not trying to replace him as his father, of course, but he's at least knows that what he did was wrong, and he's trying to, show remorse. And in a way, he's always protected Herschel. And I wonder if that helps Maggie and him form a better relationship, and then go in and try to get Negan back somehow. And then Maggie will see Negan smashing somebody's head in with Lucille.
That's exactly where I was going.
And we're going to get flashbacks.
And it's all gone.
We're going to get flashbacks again.
No, I think you're right. I think that Herschel, he is the key to Maggie forgiving Negan, I think.
So too.
And I think that he's also going to be the key to pulling Negan out of the situation that he's in. The only question that remains is Maggie going to revert back to that hatred as soon as she sees Negan in a leather jacket and holding a Lucille.
Well, technically,
at that point, he's learned nothing.
Yeah, well, technically, he's always kind of, in a way, worn the leather jacket. It's just a different one.
No, I get it.
But now it's
until
the bat.
You see that bat.
Right. the whole visual will bring her back directly to the lineup. Yeah. So the other aspect of season 2, which I know Josh doesn't want to see, but I want to see it because I want to see them flush out this story, is with Pearlie and the fart people in New Babylon. They want these zombies and the gas, and I got to know more about these New Babylon peeps. They're ruthless. They have these stupid rules now. You can't drink on Sundays. You can't do this. You can't do that, or we'll basically kill you. They got to flush that out. I got to see more of what they're going to do.
I hate that group. I just think it's dumb.
I got to see what Pearlie's going to do with that, because I mean, like,
I like Pearlie. I like the character of Pearlie. I just don't like that community. Like, I just don't like the concept of it. Like,
yeah, that's why I got to say they got to flush it out.
Wipe it out.
Well, maybe Maggie and Pearlie can somewhat. Maybe there's other people in that community that aren't for what they do. They're there because they're surviving.
Yeah.
And maybe they can pull in other people, come up with some type of revolt, and get numbers behind them to then be able to go into New York to help Negan, because now Negan's going to have numbers. Before, Dama and Croat, their numbers weren't really that strong, and with Negan now pulling more people in, they're going to have more numbers. And so Maggie having numbers behind her will help, but I'm sure Maggie can do a lot on her own. She's pretty savage. She's been through a lot. She knows what she can do. But yeah, season 2 is going to be good.
It is. And it all comes down to, Negan and how much power he has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude,
it's going to be sweet.
I can't wait.
It's going to be sweet.
When is it?
Well,
it's after Daryl.
No, it's so they just released kind of like a behind the scenes little 20-second clip, and they have confirmed it is 2025.
Dude, that sucks.
Don't know when in 2025, but we kind of knew that before, because they kind of already announced that Dead City wasn't going to be till 2025.
Yeah.
But because of this behind the scenes photo or behind the scenes video, it is confirmed 2025, but don't know when yet. But
yeah, so definitely after Daryl.
Yeah. So unfortunately, no Dead City this year, which sucks, but that's all right. So one last piece of news, very interesting news. Scott Gimple wants to return to the basics of the franchise. So in an interview recently, Scott Gimple said he's excited for the future of The Walking Dead, and he's enjoyed the unexpected swings the franchise has taken with Dead City, Daryl Dixon, and The Ones Who Live. But he wants to return to the basics of the franchise, saying, quote, "I'd love to do more classic characters in very different situations, but with those same sort of Walking Dead story values. That said, I do have insane ideas that have nothing to do with any of that. I like doing both, but I think we've had an emphasis on the experimental. I would love to do more classic stuff for a little while."
Yeah.
Very cool. Andrew Lincoln also reiterated that. He was on a recent interview promoting The Ones Who Live, which has released on Sky and now streaming services over in the UK. Yes, they're a little bit late to the party, but it is giving the United Kingdom a way to watch AMC content.
Most of them have already watched it anyway.
Most of them watched it anyway. I think I read they're going to be giving them Daryl Dixon season 1, Dead City season 2, and then of course after that, I think they're going to be giving them the regular franchise to watch at some point. Nothing was mentioned on Fear, unfortunately. But the majority of people they're using VPNs. They've already watched it or blah blah blah. But Andrew Lincoln, as he said, he said he wants to return back to the basic storytelling of the franchise. He wants to see characters in different situations and locations.
I find it very interesting that Andrew Lincoln I know that he was obviously in an interview promoting the current series that he was doing or had done. Mm-hmm. But I find it very interesting that he's giving his input on the future of the franchise. Mm-hmm. Does that possibly involve him?
Right. He's mentioned before, they've asked him, would you like to get the bigger reunions? Would you like to do like a Walking Dead season 12 or something? He said, yeah, things are always in the open, always on the table. He would love to reunite, especially with Lenny James with Morgan. Fans definitely want to see him with Negan again. But here's the thing, guys, and then we'll get back to the Scott Gimple comment for a second. So when I think about The Walking Dead, if they did Walking Dead season 12, think about the spinoffs. The spinoffs production value has been amazing because it's lesser episodes, and they put the budget towards the value. It's like these spin-offs have better production value than the main franchise because the main franchise was bigger, more characters. So if they want to do a type of reunion that we want, I say do it, but do it in less episodes so you have the better production value and make the quality better.
I would much rather have a show of 8 episodes with a larger budget than 16 on a smaller budget,
like they did with the main franchise.
I hated the whole like half season,
break,
waiting for a half season break. Like I know that we dealt with that. Obviously, I think it was the whole franchise they did
pretty much. Yeah. I think the spinoffs have ruined it. I wouldn't say ruined it, but they've made it better for them.
They've enhanced it.
They've enhanced it because of their production value. So if they want to do a massive reunion or something, then do it in like 8 episodes and put that money towards the quality.
Give me 8 longer episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. Hour long.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
You can do it. But back to the comments. Yeah. I'm all for them going back to the basics of the franchise and storytelling. I'm all for them doing, different locations, different situations with characters. Now he said classic characters, but what classic characters is he talking about? Our classic characters or just characters in general? I have no idea.
I mean, is he expanding on, like Eugene's character after the events of season 11 or Aaron,
people have wanted an Aaron and Father G series.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking sick. Yeah. So I mean, I'm all for that. Scott Gimple, he has great ideas. He does. Yes, sometimes when he's in interviews, you always have to take his words in a grain of salt because he can be a little sporadic in what he's talking about because he's trying to keep things close to the chest sometimes, which I understand. But I think they have an overall great plan. I mean, with what they've been doing with Daryl Dixon, Dead City, especially The Ones Who Live, my God. The Ones Who Live was completely not what I thought they were wanting to do after the movie trilogy failure. Like, wow, this is amazing. We want more though, but it's all in line of what the actors and actresses want to do and get back to. Tales of the Walking Dead was kind of a failure. Yeah,
it had its good episodes.
It had its good episodes, had its bad episodes, but I don't think they're going to go back to that because it just didn't. I think it could work if they go to more of the classic characters.
Exactly. Like if they
would work better.
Like the episodes that did good were obviously the Alpha episode.
Oh man,
really good, dude.
Yeah. And then one other episode which wasn't classic character. I think 2 other episodes were good. The other 2 were kind of
others.
Yeah, there
wasn't
were a couple
the
others.
bunker one with what's his name? What was his name? The black guy, the muscle dude.
Oh yeah,
Terry
something, and then also the girl who used to date Aaron Rodgers. Can't remember her name now. I know what you're talking about.
God, we're horrible at this.
I know it's been a while for Tales, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anyway,
that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah. And then there was the one with the one other black guy. It was kind of like this weird, he was like in this cult area, but he had the PPP card. So that was a callback to the main series, PPP. And, didn't flush that out ever. So yeah, Tales was a failure. I mean, they could do something with classic characters, but I think they could definitely do something, putting characters in different situations. I think Daryl Dixon, Dead City, and The Ones Who Live were perfect examples.
Wasn't that one where the one that I'm talking about with the Terry or whatever his name is? Mm-hmm. Wasn't it? He gets into that bunker, and that psycho lady's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Because they were communicating over electronic communication or whatever.
As they were telling the story, we thought it may have been her, the girl.
She wanted to eat him.
Yeah, she wanted to eat him.
Yeah, she drugged him or something.
Yeah.
With cookies or something.
Yeah. It was psychotic.
That was a good one.
That was a good one, yeah. That was cool. But yeah, those stories could have, some of them worked out. Olivia Munn. Yes, thank you.
Got that one.
Terry, God, I know his name is Terry, but yeah.
Is his last name Terry's?
I can't remember. They'll tell us in the comments, but we know what we're talking about. But the one that was a crazy episode was the two girls who technically seemed like they were dead the whole time. Remember the gas station, the
oh dude, that was
not the gas station, but they worked together.
That was a good one.
That was a weird one, and it seemed like they were basically dead the whole time because they did end up dying. And
it was a Groundhog type deal.
Yeah, Groundhog Day type thing.
That was a good one. I like that.
That was a cool concept, but overall, the Tales didn't didn't pan out. It was kind of a failure for AMC in a way, but yeah, I mean, I think one thing that Andrew Lincoln mentioned in his interview, he was when he was asked about this, he's like, I would love to go to Hawaii. Like he wants to go, like he wants to be put in different locations, like Hawaii. Dude, imagine being in Hawaii during the apocalypse.
There's no way out.
There's nowhere to go. You have to be in the ocean and have a damn good boat to get anywhere.
or hop over to one of the other islands.
Go to the other islands that aren't inhabitable.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a
But you still have to survive.
Exactly. That's a task in and of itself.
Food, water, you're basically on volcanic islands, so
yeah, dude, that'd be brutal.
That'd be brutal, man. Yeah. So, but again, like Josh said, Michonne is not letting Rick out of her sight ever again.
No.
So they're not going to any other location.
You thought you were a prisoner first the CRM. Now that your wife has a hold of you.
They can go down to Padre. Padre's good now. Padre's fine.
Oh man, I just love a series where like a Walking Dead season 12, right? Mm. And all of a sudden they cut, and they don't even have to make them present in the episode, right? But have our fear characters like in the background.
That'd be cool.
Like just show them in the background.
That'd be
a
sweet.
shot of one of them.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet. Like they made it there.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think along the lines of like with Scott Gimple, I really think they need to bring back the fear and horror aspect of the walkers.
Yeah, but time's gone on to where you can't do that.
It's hard now, but there are still massive hordes.
But I think that's the prime reason why they did the Dead City, right? And why they had the concept of the Dead City that they could. Because here's a place that people have been afraid to go to because it's a large populated area. And it's secluded, it's isolated, so there's a lot of walkers there.
Which we did not see the million walkers AMC said there are in Dead City in Manhattan. We didn't see a million of them, but they're there.
Having that concept returns it back to making the walkers be an element of the story again. They haven't always been the main element, but that's what Dead City gave us, I think, in a way.
Well, one thing that AMC let us down in Dead City. When they were promoting this, they promoted a million walkers in the city, and how were people getting around? Ziplining, all the time. We only saw ziplining once, and that was with Maggie and Negan. That was it. Like I wanted to see people constantly ziplining across because there's a million walkers in Manhattan.
We also got baited with a running walker though.
We did get baited with a running walker that turned out to be a human being who was severely malnutritioned and feral and beat up, and that we were so freaked out. If you guys remember that teaser, I'll probably show it in the video as well.
He jumped. He ran and jumped,
but they did it purposely.
Of course they did.
Never showed his face until we actually saw the episode. Yeah, dude, that was
because this was right after the variant walkers were becoming a thing. And they're like, we've had walkers. Here's something that you'll chomp at.
It's like the what was it? Not Endgame. It was Infinity Wars. Like the end of that trailer where it showed all of our people running towards us, and that badass final scene was never in the movie.
I'll tell you what. I'd be interested in the comments for all those that have Netflix that have not seen Black Summer.
Watch it.
Definitely check that out,
and then watch our reactions to it. We thoroughly loved Black Summer.
That was amazing.
The zombies in that were insane. They changed.
You think you're scared
of 5 seconds
of the Walking Dead zombies? No.
So in Black Summer, you're also going to have to take some quotes and notations from Zombieland. And one of the main rules in Zombieland is cardio. And in Black Summer, you will need cardio,
that
bro.
One dude is like running around for almost an entire episode. That poor guy.
I know.
I forgot the character's name, but man, where is that? I know we're off on a tangent here, but like they ended season 2 with that, and there was always rumors of a season 3. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No. So I posted I posted something on our Twitter not too long ago about Black Summer, and it doesn't look like we're getting a Black Summer return.
That's so sad because that show had so much potential.
It ended on a cliffhanger. Major cliffhanger with like 1, 2, actually 4 of our last remaining characters in a sense that 4 major cliffhanger. And what was interesting is that years ago, is it not? I think it's Jamie Alexander. I can't remember her name now.
Are you talking about the Fear connection?
Not the Fear connection. Do
you remember that though?
No.
They were going to have her as a guest on after the Fear episode.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. On Talk AMC or whatever.
Talking Dead.
Yeah, they were going to have the main character Jamie Alexander. Can't remember her name. They were going to have her on Talking Dead, and it was promoted that way. She was coming, and then nope. Canceled. She's not coming.
Yeah. I wonder if it got pulled.
And I think that was after season 2.
It was after season 2.
So she could have maybe had, she said in interviews before she would love to do a season 3. They definitely had talks about it and ideas, but unfortunately apparently it's not going to happen. I wish it would. But just go watch it and then watch our reactions. Watch it. It's so much fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, those those types of walkers, zombies would scare the shit out of you. Now, we kind of get parts of it in Daryl Dixon, but they're super walkers. They're they're injected to become this way. They're not natural, but yeah. So yeah, guys, not sure the future of the franchise. They're doing well right now. Yes, we want a massive reunion. We want something. Yes, I think they could do it, but stay with the limited episodes and keep the production budget higher for the quality, and just pay go through each person, like pay everybody the same. Don't go be like pay more, pay less. Just pay everybody the same. Keep the production value high. Keep it to like 8 episodes. And I think that'll do better because these spinoffs have shown what quality is about.
You said pay everyone the same. That ain't gonna happen.
Is that bad?
That ain't gonna happen.
Well, hey, I think it needs to.
In a perfect world, yeah, absolutely. But
here's the thing: with Walking Dead season 12, depending on how many characters they want to bring back for this, I would say maybe like the kids, like Judith and RJ, wouldn't probably be paid as high as the adults. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you're gonna have so many of high level characters, high level actresses come in to keep it good and to keep that production value as high as it is, to keep it like the spinoffs. Then just give everybody this is what we're negotiate and say let's pay everybody the same so we can keep this higher, so then our quality won't go down and it'll look like crap.
You know what season 12 is going to be?
What's that?
All Out War 2. Negan returns. Hear me out.
He always says, hear me out. Hear me out first.
He's lost his wife and kid.
Oh, he's so bad.
He's gone full-blown Negan again, except he has several gangs now. And he reinvades Alexandria.
What does he take?
Hilltop.
What does he go back to the sanctuary and take that first?
Everything.
Yeah. Well, even though the sanctuary's
done.
It's a shithole.
Fear the Walking Dead destroyed it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Alexandria is not really much anymore. It's the Commonwealth.
He attacks the Commonwealth.
Oh my God. That'd be bad.
It would never happen.
And guess who's by his side? Maggie.
If he did, yeah, that's his queen.
Maggie and Herschel are with him.
If he did that, he would have to die at the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. That'd be insane, dude. I would say, I can't say what percentage would enjoy that or hate that from your comment, but let us know in the comments. Would you want, well, let's say if it's not Walking Dead 12, like an alternate world, an alternate version, would you want that?
We kind of already had an alternate version with Michonne being a savior.
Yeah, dude, that was sick. That was sick. Yeah, let's see that alternate version.
Or Rick as Negan.
Rick as Negan.
Kind of already got that too when he killed Gareth.
Rick is Negan, and then Shane is the actual leader of our group.
Oh, dude, Jesus. That's an alternate universe.
That's an alternate universe I'd love to see. So yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on this news. Definitely stay tuned for more as news comes out. Unfortunately, there's not too much. Dead City, again, is not out till next year. So we'll probably hear some more news once they wrap up filming. I would imagine we could probably get a teaser they might release a teaser before the end of the year just to give us a slight tease, or if they have a premiere date in mind. If not, it won't be until like early 2025 they'll release that information. Stay tuned. Not sure when we're going to get a Daryl Dixon season 2 trailer, but that's going to be coming. We'll at least get I'd probably say we'll get 2 teasers and then a full trailer.
Yeah.
Within the next couple months before the premiere. And then, yeah, we'll be on the lookout for, Scott Gimple interviews, other cast interviews, if there's any inclination of future plans of what they want to do. If they want to bring back the whole crew for a massive reunion, if they're planning on doing another spinoff, so to speak. And also any news of how long Daryl Dixon and Dead City are planned to be.
Yeah.
Because that's in limbo right now. We got season 2s, which is great, but what's their overall plan for that?
Yeah, I mean, what's their plan after
for the end game?
Assuming we have an end game for these 2 spinoffs, is there anything in the works for the Walking Dead franchise
To replace those?
When is it truly going to end? If it ever
ends,
will
right.
end,
Or, what's their plan on, okay, if they're planning on ending Daryl Dixon and Dead City, let's say after season 3 or something, do they have anything in the works to then other things to come out after those?
Something tells me they were trying to plan for that with The World Beyond, getting young actors. I think they were trying to
build that,
ride this ship and continue, and it just didn't work out. So
World
the question
Beyond
is,
no,
do they even have anything?
Yeah, World Beyond. Yeah, I could see that was their first attempt. A lot of people have said they couldn't relate to the characters as much, and I understand it to a point. But throwing in our other characters that we knew of, the CRM storyline helped it. But I think in the end, a lot of it was, even in our comments when we did videos and reacted to it, there were just people like, I cannot relate to these kids.
I think if you had done it sooner, because were we 9 seasons in? 8-9 seasons into the main show when World Beyond came out?
World Beyond came out, I think, around season 10.
Okay.
9 or...
It was after Rick.
Season 10.
It was after Rick had gone.
Yeah, it was season
right?
10. Yeah.
I think if they had done it earlier, and it wouldn't have fit. So obviously they'd have to change some things.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have got 10 seasons of being with all of these flagship characters, these main characters. Mm-hmm.Maybe people could have related a lot easier because a large portion of people related to Fear.
Yeah, but that was basically a new spin-off.
That's what I'm saying.
And it started from the beginning.
But it was done early.
It was done early. Yeah, it started at the beginning of the apocalypse.
Now, had they kept it...
Well, there were still people that have not related to any of those characters, except for some, but yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is had they kept it with just those characters and not done the shit show that they did, 3-4 seasons in...
That was season 4. Yeah. After the showrunners changed, it basically became a new show.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah, I think with this limited series thing, where you do these limited series and then they're done and you never hear from them again. I think that was one. I could see that as being one failure for World Beyond. Yes, World Beyond's primary focus was the CRM, to dive into that storyline because we were going to get more of it later down the road.
But they still didn't go into too much of it.
They didn't go into a ton of it because I think the plan was the Rick movies at that point in time.
Yeah.
And with that failing, I think it may have screwed up their plans a little bit. Wow.
We talked about this, the CRM is no more.
Mm-hmm.
Kublik's still alive.
Yeah. No, we've talked about it.
We talked about potential, like his son taking over.
Yeah.
And continuing on with the CRM. Kublik could get out of...
Could. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That is going really off into a tangent.
But still, I think World Beyond, it was kind of the setup for the spinoffs storyline.
I'm just thinking how the story can continue.
Yeah, it did its part with CRM, but again, the fans couldn't really attach themselves to the characters because of how young they were. Not just because they're kids. You could say it's partially because they're kids, but they just weren't, they just weren't that iconic of characters. Yes, our main series is dealt off of iconic comic book series characters, but it was kind of hard for World Beyond to really do that. Now that World Beyond's done, they never do anything again, it's tough to really relate to it. But I'm sure, like Scott Gimple said, that he has plans. He just has to work them out, flush storylines, figure out what characters he wants to use. And that's kind of what they need to be eyeing is, okay, what are we going to do after Daryl Dixon and Dead City are done? They said they would love to do something else with Andrew Lincoln and Denai, with The Ones Who Live. They would love to do it. Have no idea if anything is in the works or talks. But that's the thing is, what do they want to do? Do they want to do some more spinoffs and then say, okay, let's finish this thing off with a massive reunion for everyone, do some final battle thing, whatever, and then be done with the series together? Don't know. I don't know how a network decides that. When do you decide to say, this is the end?
Yeah. Well, it's tough when you have multiple projects going.
Yeah. Multiple successful projects. Ones Who Lives, massively successful. Dead City, Daryl Dixon.
They're not going to stop until the money stops flowing.
Right.
So,
but that's the problem, I think, is with choosing what characters they want to do next. Yes, I think they have good characters that they could do this with. I think an Aaron and Father G series would be great. You could probably do an Aaron, maybe Jerry series. There's other characters too, but I just
Eugene.
don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Eugene would be cool.
Western Alliance type deal.
Yeah, throw in the Western Alliance from the source material. They could do more, but it would really depend, A, if the actor is available to do it, if they want to do it, but it's writing that story and getting the budget, and then you do a season 1 and you hope it works out. Or you say, this is just a limited series, 1 season, that's it.
If you had Carl still, you'd have a really good series.
Oh, you would have so much stuff you could do with Carl. But no.
Old man Carl.
GDMF. Yeah, guys. All right. We are done with news for today. Make sure you like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and we will see you guys in the next one. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.